When last we left off our intrepid group of adventurers. Dog crime. That is all. But in more serious notes, our merry band of adventurers, having successfully managed to get into the quarantine section of old Bleakstone, explored the relatively intact sections, and learned of the town structure with remnants of military and the local doctor's brigade. So, having worked together to quarantine sections of this town and work on a cure.
Loving the local doctors.
Additionally, they learned that a large number of dragonborn from Kusan lived in this section, led by none other than General Mendax, an old commander and acquaintance of our dear friend Rallis's. Unfortunately, their journey to try and track down the elusive Saladin proved ineffective, as their trail was leading them to the one investigating his crimes, and not the criminal himself. We go now to our merry band of adventurers, where are you all up to?
So I believe at the last session, Rallis grabbed Vane and said, "Hey, I need your help with something," and he would have I need your help to get their cure research. You're pretty persuasive, aren't you?
I've been known to be every once in a while.
Yeah. We just need to work out a deal to get both to trade both our research.
I could yes, I can come along and assist in procuring it.
Good. I guess you will probably look over at Big, just not really say anything, but just kind of shift his head for you to come along as well, since you probably actually have some stuff on the cure.
Alright. So yeah, you're just like gesturing?
Very slightly, but yes.
Like just nodding your head like,
yeah.
hey.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, I guess Big will walk over.
And Caleb, if you want to go with, or if you want to go get mugged by a dog again.
That dog was a gang star.
Yeah, that dog was a straight up G.
Also, didn't we find out some other rather important information last time? Such as Saladin is most likely still under Bleakstone.
I mean, we knew he was still in Bleakstone.
You learned that he's not here.
Yeah, I was about to say, wasn't that, like, kind of a big reveal there? Like, we thought he was in this town, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was in this section of town, but the journal was leading you to,
Yeah, the captain.
yeah.
Yeah, we still need to find him, but we're here. We don't need to come back later. If we can set up the information trade now, we don't have to fight our way back here.
Again, no, yeah, Big wanted Q research. I just didn't know if the priority wouldn't be to stop Saladin.
So we're still in that mostly dead city, right? Where those
Not Dead City, but yes.
We're in the Plague Lands, essentially.
right.
The
We're in
city
the
with the Dragonborn Guard.
yeah, the place with the people who didn't want us hurting the infected.
Right, just making sure.
And
Fuck,
their
so I still
dog
don't have
ripped
my
us
guns.
off, and Saladin's not here, and their doctors won't share anything. This is not a good town.
Yeah, and then I harassed him for like 3 hours. Again. I love harassing people. I'm a menace.
I'm here to purify the water. Fuck you, personally.
I will insult you. I will gaslight you. You are. You
And
are
by that
in
he means he
danger.
will pour gasoline
Seethe.
on you and light you up.
Seethe, mauled, gaslight, gatekeep.
girl boss.
Mid.
So,
Anywho.
we'll swap over to the magic here.
Anyway, yeah, I'll be walking with you guys. I have nothing else to do.
Yeah. As you guys walk down the streets and approach for Vena and Big, a familiar-looking section, you see two members of the Doctor's Brigade. These people wearing very long, dark leather coats and wearing plague masks upon their face to presumably protect from infection.
Is it the same? Are the same guards out?
It does seem to be the same guards. As even though their faces are covered, you do feel some sort of piercing glare coming your way.
Yeah, I might mention that we're not the most popular here with these in particular.
Vane will just immediately walk forward. Hey there, Smiley.
Go away.
Vane's just gonna keep standing there, just like hands on his hips, just smiling at him, just not blinking or
So-
anything.
Again, as much as you may or may not like us or our company or what we do, we have made some good progress towards curing the plague, and I believe it would be beneficial for both parties if we could share information.
Neat.
Is there anyone we could talk to? Other than you in particular. I apologize if that seems rude.
I don't.
If I take your message inside and they decide not to go along with it, will you leave me alone?
I guess Big will look to the party.
I guess Rouse will pick up. Look, just tell him that the other town has been working on a cure research, and we want to see if working together we can find a cure faster. There's a lot of people that we want to save, and working together will help facilitate that much faster than if we work alone.
Sure. He just turns and walks inside, leaving the other guard behind, who kind of shifts over to block the entire doorway since he's alone now. And yeah, you just hear the tapping the footsteps as the guy walks in.
So, what do you think of the information exchange?
Are you talking to the
Yeah,
other
the guard that's still there. What do you think?
Well, I'm the remaining guard sort of seems to ponder it for a moment, then very slowly reaches up and lowers her mask. And as she does, you see a good bit of very heavy bags under her eyes, and that she seems to have a bit of an overbite with a few fangs peeking out over her lip. A cure would be nice, she says, kind of lisping a little bit, and replaces the mask.
I think if both parties have a good opportunity of gaining something and benefiting the other, I don't see why anyone would oppose it.
Well, a cure won't do anyone if it's something that's hoarded and sold.
That's perhaps you could tell your friend that. So what are y'all doing?
I want you to know that the moment that guy walks away, my first inkling, my first thought was, I'm just gonna follow him with my clone. But I don't need us getting caught with that while we're trying to broker peace.
Showing your hand is typically bad, too.
Yeah. So, no, Ralph's just standing there in a very soldier pose.
Vane will just be like pacing back and forth.
Again, thank you earlier for your help, friend. They were going to arrest me earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as you guys stand there and wait, you soon hear the tapping of boot heels as the other guard returns, and the first one sort of steps aside to let him pass. As he comes back, you see that he has like a sort of a small scroll in his hand, and he's like bundles it up and passes it out.
Yeah. I will take that.
As he was giving it to Big, you reach out.
Let's be honest, Ralph would want to look at that immediately.
I was just asking, did you take it when it was being handed to Big?
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume he was just holding it out for whoever. So, I assume it's just kind of a offering.
A little bit. Since, we gotta make sure that we're giving it out to the right people, if nothing else. But that's a little taste of what we have so far.
I guess everyone gather around. Let's take a look at it.
All right.
Okay.
You unfurl the scroll?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you
Sprays
see
ink or something.
yeah. As you look through it, and let me just go to the right spot in my notes. So yeah, as you look over the scroll, you see sort of a detailed sketch of one of the infected in the latter stages, I forget the name of it, but the one port...
The Vitruvian Man.
Vitruvian Man, thank you. Yeah, sort of a Vitruvian Man of him, just and next to that, a picture of internal organs and how they've been warped. One being sort of enlarged heart and shrunken lungs being most notable, or oddly enough, an enlarged section of the brain in the back. Below that, there's sort of a list of the different stages, and sort of like a descriptor afterwards. Stage 1, the plague mimics a normal infection, causing fever and aches. Stage 2, the mind becomes addled, the infected becomes more irritable and single-minded. They tend to obsess over one thing and isolate from others. They also gain a fear of fire. Stage 3, the mind becomes more bestial, and complex thought becomes difficult to maintain. It's sort of the phase in which the mind turns fully beast. It isn't odd for patches of fur or claws to form. Stage 4, full port transformation. But although it's not an exact science, it seems that the more people someone has killed, the worse of a beast they turn into. Additionally, this is the main stage in which they are most contagious, with even cutting into them causing the plague to spread, as opposed to being a cloud in turn. And below that, just a few different treatments. Curiously enough, holy magic seems to do very little to ward off infection. Additionally, even more unconventional sciences such as druidic magic or necrotic magic can only do so much, though they seem oddly more effective than holy magic. The best conventional cure seems to be a good bit of salt added to the diet, though this also burns the risk of causing other health complications in the patient in the meantime. In addition to this, there are rumors of a medicine called bliss among the druids, which seems to be able to fully sustain one's health and prevent the disease from regressing. All in all, lots of rest, and keeping the infected's blood pressure and pumping as low as possible seem to be the key to buying as much time as possible.
Is this common knowledge, or would this be of any actual value?
Some of it's stuff you've heard before. It's generally laid out in a lot more detail. The like sketches of the body and stuff are mainly new. Like most people tend to not want to be around the infected long enough to actually dissect them. So like the knowledge of what it does to the body is a bit new and possibly helpful. And salt hasn't really been heard of before since general process.
Kill on site.
Yeah, it's either kill on site or at least like some there have been cases of infected fasting and starving themselves since they know they're on their way out.
Looking at all this, knowing the salt thing, is there any place Relics can think of that might have a huge amount of salt that would be close enough to go gather? Like any decent deposits?
Well, there are rumors of pockets of seawater in some sections below the town that could theoretically be extracted and dried out, or barring that, there might be old warehouses in town somewhere. Though, or it's even possible that there are just some minerals that are in different sections of towns that haven't been well explored since the outbreak began.
Looking at the gentleman who handed us the scroll, are they still there? Like, I assume we weren't looking over.
Oh yeah, they just sort of like resumed the position.
Well, thank you for the information. It mentions here that salt slows it down. Do you know by how much, or have you studied exactly how effective it is?
Well, yeah, he just sort of rubs the back of his head. It's not an exact science, because we gotta get the dosages right. It doesn't do much good to ward off the infection if you give a guy a heart attack from it. So all we know is that it does help, but by how much varies from person to person.
So, is it common knowledge that salt is a preservative?
Yeah, I'd say so.
What would I have to roll to determine that some other preservatives might be helpful?
You're popping out a little bit there, friend.
It also is more likely to be that it's also like an antibacterial thing. It
That is also a thing.
keeps microbes from collecting.
Uh-huh.
That's how it preserves things.
That's also an option, but yeah, it's just that would probably be where Rallis is more likely to go since he's not trained in medicine.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. You're popping out a good bit there.
It sounds fine on my end.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
is
hear
it?
it fine.
That might just be me then.
Here,
Check
let
your
me
headphones.
Mess with your headphones. Is that a little bit better?
Much better, thank you.
Yeah, I think your thing was just loose. So
Must have been. Just wanted to make sure for the people listening at home.
I'll repeat my question. What would I have to roll to determine what other preservatives may be helpful?
For that, I'd say a survival check.
Okay. I don't know what my survival... It has been so long since I've rolled any of Rouse's things.
But looking at the man again, at Bleakstone, we've been studying more at a cellular level, more what it does to the blood itself and how it affects that.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I do notice that you mentioned bliss here, which we have made rather decent breakthrough studying bliss. We have a recipe we've been deciphering. If you think that knowledge might be helpful, if you could send some information, more detailed information. You mentioned this is just the basics. We'd love to get a chain going of information.
Well, I'll take it to higher up, see what we can do, but yeah, Bliss would probably help a lot.
It's what would could I roll to get the specifics? Like how much we know it slows it down, or what we know about how it affects it.
Yeah, roll me a medicine check. In the meantime, what
while
you
he's
get?
doing that, non-nat 20.
On that 20? Yeah, you've heard of you've heard of similar things in the preserving process. You've heard of like up in the north, up in Kusan, you know that some of the more tribal areas, or like the Arakakra, for example, they had a process in which they would use dried out moss to sort of suck away the moisture from food to help preserve it longer.
Okay. Well, Rouse is going to turn around, tell him, salt's preservative. If you experiment with other types of preservatives, you might be able to find a better way to ward off the disease. And I'll bring that up, since moss is probably easier to get than most other things.
True.
Yeah. And Vane is also going to just sort of look at him for a second and ask, so it says here that you've tested both holy magic, druidic magic, and necromantic magics, but have any other avenues of sorcery been explored?
Well, not too many, since, not too many others who were in here in the city when it was quarantined.
Well, if your higher-ups would be interested, I'm actually a servant of the devil god Terzanon, and at the moment I am being tasked with dealing with this plague, and if my connection to him could bring about some new magics that might help at least hold it off for longer, I would be willing to do so.
All you have to do is sign this contract here that gives Terzanon your soul. And you have to erect several temples in his name.
But yes, we'd love to share the information we have regarding the bliss. If you could share something with us more detailed, that would be appreciated. But yeah, that will be our, I guess, like little bow.
And guy just sort of nods, and then slowly pulls down his mask, and you see he's a bit of a younger fellow with very bright red hair and just gray eyes. He's sorry for earlier. This is that's good info, and we'd appreciate it.
No hard feelings.
Yeah, holds out a hand.
Yeah, Big will shake his hand.
Name's Declan, by the way.
Big.
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
Puts his mask back on. Well, yeah, I think you folks will be welcome here anytime, especially with that information. Thank you.
Thank you. And I guess stepping away a bit, you mentioned, yes, I think when you first arrived here, when you first came to the medical tent, that you sensed something like demonic, or you sensed some kind of energy from it that we hadn't.
I believe... God, it's been so long. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Timmy, was it that I sensed there was something magical about it, but it didn't seem demonic or devilish?
About the plague?
Yeah, whenever I was because I went to a sample of the plague to try and sense
was
magical
it demonic
energy.
or devilish?
Yeah, as far as you were able to tell, it is not infernal in origin.
Yeah, but I could tell it was not natural, I think.
Yeah, it didn't occur in nature, but it did not come from hell.
Okay, yeah.
It might be interesting, regardless, to see what some of your magics do to it, or how it interacts.
I'd be willing to run some tests over it, as well as some rituals along with my lord.
Alright, so that's that's one mission down.
Well, I think it's time to return to the regular streets of Bleakstone and pass off this information.
We must collect our things as well. I'm sure Caleb's missing his guns.
I would sure like to get my guns back, yes.
He didn't take much from you, did he?
No, just my sword.
You were very much not in any way impeded when it comes to violence.
I am the weapon.
Honestly.
He took nothing from Rallis.
Yeah, no, it's like if a monk walks in. Oh, no, I've been disarmed. Oh, wait.
Give
then
me
you
your
re-
weapons.
And then you remember you're a Kinsei monk and you're fucked.
Oh, damn.
I gave him practically a small arsenal of stuff before we came in here.
You know, the like, oh, here's my gun shoe, here's my shoe gun, here's my knife I keep in my underwear, here's my,
Here's my gun.
You
gun.
know,
it's a gun that transforms.
If we had put that
Sword,
rifle
cane,
in
sword
Rallis,
cane,
where
cane
you
sword,
just break it down in
derringer
a
sword,
story, I could just take
sword
that and give it to
derringer.
you.
candy cane. How'd that get in there?
candy cane, candy gun.
Ah, yes, my pen gun. Mightier than the sword.
My
Mightier,
umbrella gun.
it's stronger than the sword gun.
My sword gun. Mightier than the pen gun.
Here's what I need. I just need a bag of holding that Rallis can store on him at all times.
No, you need one in like each wrist. You pop your hands up and then fire both at the enemy. Black hole them.
I'm about to start work on a brand new gun that I've never.
Look at it.
But I don't
If
think
you
that-
were a
I don't think
barbarian,
even my dear old Da
you
might have been able to
and we
sell.
had a bag of holding, you could pocket Rallis. Just hang out in the bag of holding. Don't have to worry about breathing because Rallis doesn't have lungs. And just when we into battle, you have a problem? Reach in, grab Rallis, just throw him at someone.
Throw the bag of holding. Rallis jumps out of the bag of holding mid-air, then makes your double, like, in however far away, and then you can just, like, fast travel.
Rallis, I choose you. Use lightning breath.
No, if you want to be effective, what you do is you just buy 2 bags of holding.
Yeah,
and just
black
tie them,
hole.
And just tie them to an arrow, and just have it so when it hits, they just enter each other and just annihilate everything. It creates an instant sphere of annihilation.
Yes, because they collapse in on each other.
Yes. The most overpowered weapon in D&D.
Yeah, sorry, DM.
No worries. But yeah, as you guys start to make your way for the exit, you just see Chance just sitting in his little area, fiddling with the gun a bit.
With the machine gun, right? Or like the crank gun?
The Gatling gun,
Yeah.
I guess you have to go get your stuff back from him. You also
He
have
has my
stuff
stash.
back.
Yeah, as you approach, he's like, so, good visit?
I believe it's been somewhat productive, though not as much as we might have liked.
Yeah, we didn't find.
We did
the
not
person we
stop
were
a
looking
terrorist.
for. But in better news, we're setting up correspondence where we will be offering each other's cure research. Hopefully, that'll bring this plague to an end faster.
Good. You'll be happy to know that I'm having a little bit of a megaphone set up out there. So next time you come by, I'll shoot at you significantly less. And then he just like starts to set out all the weapons and stuff on a little table in front of him.
So his one weapon, my stick, and then his arsenal.
You know what? I'm actually gonna let just to say, sorry for the hostilities earlier.
He started shooting at us first.
Yeah, but I did get a little snappy with him on the whole
Having
trade
shot at
secret
us.
whole trade secrets comment.
I threatened to murder him.
That too.
He tried to kill us.
Look, I'm
I
sorry
tried to
for the
kill him.
hostility, so I'm gonna leave you with something to remember me by. Click, boom, grab his gun.
Yeah, it's a bullet in his kneecap. You can remember me by that.
No, it's a bullet in the brain.
Anywho,
A bullet in the kneecap of a man who in a wheelchair.
Yep. And every time you walk up, you cast heat metal on him. They couldn't remove the bullet. It's too close to a vein.
Anyway, I am now going to go ahead and just say,
I'm gonna be a dick once. One character.
in order to apologize for the hostilities, I'm going to let him keep most of the weapons I kind of left here. I don't actually need that many, to be real with you. Instead, I would just like to take my pistols and my hand axe and a dagger, if you would.
Well, mighty generous of you. They'll make good work for our soldiers. And he just like hands you back the requested weapons.
You look over at Rallis, he's just staring at you like, unloading your fucking trash on him?
And you get
Caleb
back
was
your...
that close to carrying capacity.
I mean, it's a
Sort of
bit
fair
odd.
warning.
I'm more of a vegetable merchant, but thanks for the small arms.
Well, you see Caleb got robbed by a dog, and with that, he's over carrying capacity, so he's forced to just walk back slowly.
Yeah, he got reverse mugged by a dog.
I also gave him a book. That was the 1 pound that set him off.
It's not even a pound,
Yes,
it's
thank you for
0.1
yes,
pounds
thank you for the
over.
Oh
Demonology
god, now
book.
I gotta eat 10 raw tomatoes.
Yeah, you can carry 6,000 times
My
your
God.
weight and not an ounce more.
My
Yes,
God.
I better be eating all these wheels of cheese.
Cheese, yes!
Pause!
Anyway, I got a pistol back, hand axe, and a dagger. Dope.
Oh, so you're gonna have to read that demonology book at some point.
Yes, I am. I'm going to do it when we're not doing anything else. You know, short rests and shit. Oh yeah, and of course, while I'm here, now I know I just tried to apologize for hostilities towards this dude. I'd like to inspect my guns, please.
Oh, alright.
You notice one seems to have no bullets in it, but then you remember, oh wait, that's the magic one.
Anyways, so what do I roll for this? Insight or perception?
Investigation, I'd say.
Oh, it's investigation? Okay. I think I have something for...
It's still a
don't
mystery.
Insight,
Yeah, what
roll,
exactly are you
tangent.
trying to, like, figure out about them?
If he tampered with them.
At all. If he tried to take them apart, if he tried to see any of the ammo, and try to maybe even fire it at some point. I'm going to laugh if he accidentally set off the one with infinite ammo.
I'm pretty sure only you can shoot that since you're attuned to it.
Oh, fuck. It was a 19. Damn near, nat 20. 19 plus a 2, 20, 21. 24. 27?
Yeah, as you look over the guns, you don't see anything tampered with them.
Anyway, yeah. Alright, we're good. Off we go.
Yeah. And as you depart, the sun is fairly low in the sky. It's late in the afternoon. Well, not quite sunset, but as you walk along the rooftops, you see an oddly peaceful view of the quarantine city as all the beasts below have gone off to sleep. Some of them even forming large piles as though they were dogs or pigs. And yeah, you just walk on back across the rooftops to a section where you can get back down and onto the ground. But yeah, do you have anything you want to be doing while you head back to the neutral zone, or?
I'd actually like to go back to my shop and start drawing up blueprints for everything I saw in that Gatling gun.
There's some experiments I wouldn't mind working on either.
Oh,
And I guess I'll be going with him to work on experiments as well.
I'd actually like to go find Lady Bright Eyes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we should someone should probably mention that we didn't find him.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so I'd like to go and actually start working on designs to try to make a Gatling gun on my own.
Oh yeah.
Do I
I'd
have
So-
like to work on side quests, do you?
Oh yeah. So, for your guns, I would like you to make me just an intelligence check, as far as drawing up designs and such.
Come on, baby, come on.
Net one.
6 plus a 3, so 9.
What was that?
6 plus a 3, so a 9.
9. So, as you draw up plans, you realize that this would be quite an endeavor. To make a Gatling gun, you need to spend at least 1,500 gold, and you would need to spend at least 750 hours making it. However, as you get to thinking about it, you realize you could probably make a bit of a higher quality one if you doubled the amount of gold you spent, or doubled the amount of time you spent, or, and your mind races with possibilities at this one, if you doubled both, you could make a legendary Gatling gun, renowned throughout the ages.
I want you to know, if you take the 750 hours and divide that by 8 hours a day, that's 94 days it's going to take.
Jesus fuck.
Without
Yeah.
help.
Yeah, but again, also, that's without, like, it taking, like, 2 weeks later we did this. Like, he can have worked on it every night.
Yeah, like it's like 750 man hours, not like total.
Yeah, not like game hours.
You know what? As a matter of fact, I have an idea. Can I roll to see if there's anything that I could take from the design of the Gatling gun to improve my smaller gun in any way?
Ooh.
Perhaps even create like
A
a...
fully automatic revolver?
You can attack
Semi-automatic.
3 times in a turn,
Because
but
I think
you
something-
have to roll with triple disadvantage.
Because something I think that Caleb would notice, you said that the guns that he has are revolvers, right?
Yes.
Right, so it's a spinning chamber. Gatling guns work basically about the exact same way. The only difference being is that, well, it's kind of a more it's actually a more manual mechanism apparatus. You know, because you actually have to crank the fucking thing. So what I'm thinking here is that, like, he could probably be inspired somehow by that, maybe to make a faster firing revolver or something like that. I don't know. Anything, really. Can I make a check for it?
Sure. I'd say roll me another intelligence check, I'd say.
There are revolvers that cock themselves after you fire.
Yeah, but those weren't. Yeah, but those weren't a thing until like. Oh God.
Well, when we're Gatling
Yeah, well,
guns,
that's you
Well,
pass
Gatling-
this check, you're inventing them.
To answer your question, Rodney, Gatling guns were actually made, I think, sometime during, if not right after, the American Civil War.
It was right before.
Right before. Okay, thank you.
Because they used it was a big part of it.
Oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me! Another 6, bro.
Another 6.
Don't you have an advantage on certain types of things like this?
I'd say that being a gunsmith, you have advantage on these checks.
Okay, cool.
It was a 7 this time.
That's one better!
Yeah.
What's your
So-
modifiers?
So that puts it at 10, right?
That's a 4.
Oh, I thought that was a 7.
No, that was a 4.
So, what's your modifiers to that 6?
+3.
So it's a 9. It's a 9. Sorry, I was a bit away from the microphone.
It seems to be a bit beyond you at this point in time.
Well,
you
I
adding to
rolled
it?
an 8, so...
+3 because it's my intelligence modifier.
Well-
You'd think I'd be smarter, but I put everything to dex more than anything.
When you also have proficiency or something?
Oh, that was just flat intelligence.
Ah,
Yeah, it wasn't.
no, okay.
So you know,
Okay.
I do think I have a special thing with insight checks because of the inquisitive thing,
Yeah.
but that
It's
was
like
an
insight checks on to see if people are deceiving you, or
Not
like
just
to,
deceiving you, but also to
and,
see
like,
if you can
finding,
find
like clues,
find
and
clues,
secret
hidden creatures.
passages.
Also, with insightful fight, I can actually make it to where I can use sneak attack without having advantage.
So, as you look over the sort of rough schematics for a Gatling gun and then look at your own gun, you start to formulate a sort of idea in your mind. There's one barrel with the revolver turning each time to load up a new bullets. What if there were just simply more barrels of each one? Perhaps you would be able to improve the aim a bit, or could even try to manufacture a very special one that would surpass your own ones. You've heard vaguely of things similar to this in other gunsmithing tools, though it's not, well, not quite the most well-known thing. Of course, since artificing not the most well looked upon profession in this place. But you remember vaguely that your father used to talk about something called a pepper box that could work wonderfully by combining these two ideas.
All right, let's start thinking of schematics for those. Do I have to make yet another intelligence?
Ah,
roll.
yes.
Come on, at least give me this one.
I just had the vision of Rallis with a Tommy gun, and now
It's
that's
a
all I
7.
want.
So we got a 10.
Ah. So, as you draw up the rough schematics for a pepper box, you realize it would cost you about 250 gold and probably take you about 125 hours.
Shit, that's not so bad, actually.
Or, if you were to double one of those, you could make it even better. If you doubled both, you could make it really, really good. So if you want to make it cost 500 gold and spend 250 hours on it, you can make a legendary pepper box.
It's just over a month if you divide it by 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Not bad for literally making new discoveries.
Yeah, that's honestly not bad.
All right, we'll roll up the blueprints. Roll up the blueprints and bring it up to my room to keep it hidden, because I got a little idea workshop in there.
I want Caleb to make Rallis a Tommy gun. I really do. I think it would look great. I'd have
See,
to
I
get
hate
the
the
mob
giants,
hat.
see?
Here's what we think of them.
Just, Oh, if Rallis doesn't have his cloak, he'll just put on the mafia hat, pull out the Tommy gun, and just start going fucking wild.
So, Rallis, as you walked into the normal office, you hear just a bit of swearing behind the door. Oh, God, fucking damn it. And, yeah, you do recognize the voice as Lady Bright Eyes.
Rallis is gonna knock on the door.
Yes, who is it?
It's Rallis. I have some, information.
Oh, fine, come in.
Yeah, he was, gonna walk in.
Yeah, and as you do, you see Lady Bright Eyes sort of like bent over, feeling around underneath some of the couches. I saw that look, Tristan. Get your mind out of the fucking gutter.
Hey, he gave it to me.
Listen, you guys are degenerates. Anyway.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yeah, this is a family-friendly campaign.
You see her kind of laid out on the floor, like feeling under the furniture. As she straightens up and sort of like slowly turns her head towards you, you see one of her eyes is fallen out, and the other one is just sort of like, yes. I seem to have dropped one of them.
Have you guys seen
I'm
Sing?
looking for my perception check.
Shut up. That movie, man.
No, nat 20 perception to find
I
it.
hate it when your secretary's eye accidentally falls into your coffee.
Yeah, as you like look around, you kind of focus your eyes and see a sort of a small blue glint underneath Bright Eyes' desk.
Rouse, I got it, and he's just gonna walk over and grab it. Yeah, Rouse is gonna just grab that and walk over, and I guess
Does it help
place
with
it in her
mental
hand.
stings?
Yeah, she like thank you. She like starts to like polish and clean it again as she like walks over, circling around back to her desk and sits down. No. She like pops it back into place, blinks a few times. So, what's the update?
So, we followed a lead over to Old Bleakstone, over into the quarantine zone.
And?
Well, the lead ended up being false. Nothing came of it other than meeting up with some people I used to know.
Who has the medical document?
Honestly, I think Rallis would have probably left it with you two.
Okay.
Because Bright Eyes can't see, and, well, Rallis could just tell her that we, most of what we found on it. The important stuff, as in, we need salt, and a lot of it. But beyond that, we've learned that they have quite a bit of research into finding a cure for this plague.
Oh, truly.
One of the things they offered us was a good way to slow it is apparently salt.
Salt.
It slows down the infection, though we don't know how much yet. They might, but they didn't give us that information.
I see. Like puts a hand on her chin slowly and nods. Well, we can use that. That's good information.
On top of that, I am trying to broker a deal where we trade our cure research between each other. Because if we work together, we could cure this faster. And hopefully with a lot less death.
True. I don't quite see eye to eye on a lot of things, but... Well, if it gets this nightmare over with sooner rather than later, I suppose they'll be willing to work with us.
I'm sure she doesn't see eye to eye with a lot of people.
I didn't know which one of you two were going to fucking say it.
This is why I can't make blind characters anymore.
No.
You never see it coming.
That's why you can't make blind characters anymore.
You never see it coming.
I hate all of you.
Or else we'll again go over the preservative idea he had, saying he doesn't know if it'll help, but it might be worth looking into if, salt is a preservative.
You and your group have done wonderful work, Rallis. Thank you.
I'm the doctor. I know medical shit.
But, yeah, There is one thing I will say. I was not aware that I had old comrades over there. And it's unlikely that sending giants, sending that type over there right now might not be the smartest thing. However, I do believe that there should be some courier that runs between the two. If I'm not currently trying to track anyone down or on a mission somewhere else, I'd be glad to do so, but if I can't be reached, there should be someone designated to run between each.
A fair point. Given that this is somewhat related to taking down Saladin, I'll set Noose on him. He has a bit of a grudge against him.
Did we bring Noose home with us?
And
Yeah.
I will also say there's they have a watchtower there with someone that has a really big, really powerful gun.
They're working on setting
Noose, you know, he came with us, so. But anyone else you'd send there might not want to mention Saladin, because the guy with the gun was apparently his ex-roommate.
They were blood brothers.
So, yeah, we didn't give his name after finding that out.
A fair point.
With that, Rallis is gonna head out.
Yeah.
He's actually going to return to his home to, I guess, rest up since it's late at night.
So, Vane and Big, you were heading to the tent?
Yes.
Ah, yeah. I'll say that as you start to walk by, Vane, you actually feel a odd tugging at your jacket, and as you turn, you see Kayla's there. Hey, Mr. Vane. Did you get him?
No, we didn't get him, but
Oh.
we're closer to getting him than we were before.
We found your grandfather. He's slowly dying in the sewers.
We might be able to save him, but probably not.
Oh, well, that's good. Find any more puzzles out there?
Oh, no, but we found an interesting book. If you know Caleb, the guy with the guns,
Yeah?
he could probably read that book to you.
Oh. That'd be nice. Oh, another thing. I found out something really cool. I think solving that puzzle, like, I'm not sure. I feel real weird all of a sudden. Like look, watch this.
And then conjures black fire.
I can do this now! Eldritch Blast, the repelling blast.
Like
Pushes Vane 10 feet back.
she looks over towards one of the passing wagons that seems to be filled with some of the purified water. Watch this. One of those barrels is gonna break. And as she speaks, one of the barrels does indeed burst open and send water spewing out onto the floor, somewhat disrupting things as the cart immediately stops. Like, whoa, what the fuck? And they start to try and patch up the barrel.
Language, there are children present.
Does it seem like it is like a the abilities of like a warlock?
Did she cause it, or did she predict it?
Roll me
That's
a
a
arcane
mystery.
check.
Can you do that, Vane?
I can do it in more brutal fashion, and that is an 18.
An 18?
Yes.
This is a bit unusual. It doesn't seem like any sort of warlock magic. It seems almost like chaos magic, which you've heard can be channeled in a few different ways. Normally it's sort of a bloodline sort of thing, but it seems almost as if but you've heard it being used to change the course of fate to help people or to hurt people.
She has power over destiny itself.
So it seems to be like she's some sort of sorcerer.
Almost some sort of sorcerer, yes.
Okay. Because Vane does know a sorcerer, so he would recognize like bloodline thing.
Damn,
Is,
if he's born with their magic.
Is that sorcerer the one that he fucking hates?
No, that would be the leader.
Yeah, you've sort of heard of occasionally. It's sort of rare, but every now and then, instead of waking warlock magic, it'll awaken magic within someone already when the puzzle is solved.
So her blood had a natural affinity towards magic.
You awakened her Sharingan, you bastard.
And she didn't even have to kill her brother or steal her father's eyes or anything.
Yeah, Vane will just sort of stare at the man as they're, like, patching the hole and whatever. So is breaking things the best you can do, or have you figured out other things?
Have you killed a man yet?
Oh, I've also got this. Watch. You can do it! She like turns and yells towards the men who are patching it up, and she immediately and as they do, let me roll something real quick.
They still fail, but you can tell like they did better than they would have before.
So she's a bard.
And yeah, as they hear that, they actually pick up their work and seem to successfully seal up the barrel a bit quicker than it should take, as you've with your extensive barrel knowledge, you know.
Of stuffing people into them, of course.
Of course.
That is a 2nd century barrel. It has it was used for many years to store alcohol and age it to perfection. It is made out of cherry wood number 4, which is especially expensive.
How large was the barrel?
That was sort of like a cask. It was like
It was a size medium.
Like, has the town water supply been in any way actually affected by this?
Oh no, it's like stool sized.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that is interesting.
Yeah, so if you need help tracking down that guy or anything, just let me know. Because I want to help out.
Killing the man who destroyed my life, let me know.
Yeah.
I'll hang him by his entrails.
Say, why don't you go and see, hold on, I'm trying to think.
There's no sorcerers in town.
No. Okay. I have a friend named Noose. He's magically inclined as well, and I wonder if perhaps he could assist you while I'm away on this mission in honing your abilities.
Is Noose a sorcerer?
I mean, he's a magic man.
He has a little bit of magic, but out of game, I just gave him he's mostly fighter with a level in cleric.
Yeah.
But yeah, she just beams. Okay, great. I'll go do that, and then I'll help you and Mr. Terzinon with whatever it is you're doing.
Has Terzinon spoken to her yet?
Then she skips off very happily.
I'm trying to remember. I know Terzinon pointed her out, so I would assume he did talk to her.
Well, and as you hear a familiar voice in the back of your head, that was peculiar.
I'd say so. I've heard of those with magical bloodlines, but not one so split in what it wants to accomplish.
True. I'll have to keep an eye on that one.
Hopefully, if she can hone it enough in a safe environment, if she ever manages to get back to Vexia with us, we might be able to hone it into something more useful than just breaking barrels.
Quite true. Quite true. So yeah, Big, as you are walking along, you see Vane. From your point of view, it looks like Vane has encouraged this woman, this young girl, to cause property damage, encourage people, and then said, "Go talk to Noose," and then smiled as he seemed to have a conversation with himself.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what I was thinking. Big's yep, you way to teach the child to destroy the town's water supply and affect people's jobs. Yeah, again, is that the safest choice of action?
Well, in this world we live in, safety isn't exactly the most important thing we could aim for. Sometimes there's only so much you can do before you have to start thinking of more of the big picture.
And you, what's your plan for her after your mission here is done?
Well, I will be bringing her with me back to my hometown of Vexia.
And you think that's a safe option?
Safe, more useful to the world at large.
Well, she might have family survive this.
She might or she might not, but in the end, will it really matter if tragedy befalls and she isn't strong enough to stop it when she needs to?
I just know that your homeland doesn't seem to be the most conducive to child rearing.
We do what is necessary.
In the end, I suppose it's her choice to make, maybe. But you introduced her to this whole thing, so I do appreciate you keeping somewhat of an eye on her, at least for now.
Anyway, I suppose we should head to the medical tent.
Indeed. I'm nervous something may have befallen Stumbles. I know their security was there, but seemed like he might have been one Saladin was looking for.
Yeah. You guys approach the tent and you see the normal dwarf guards outside, just like keeping watch. One of them with a halberd a good 5 times his size. The other one sort of like carrying a couple of short swords. They both kind of like salute you as you walk in, and
At least they didn't try to stop me from entering this time.
yeah.
As we're passing by, I'll just sort of look over to him. Any trouble while we were gone?
Nothing out of the usual. A fella who was insisting that he get another test done after it, didn't come back the right way. Bit of an argument with one of my brothers. He came up and asked for a test. Asked for a test for the plague, and well, apparently that's something they can do. Something about different blood types or something. And apart from that, all good.
All right then. Well, hopefully it stays that way. And
Well, we'll certainly try our best.
then Bane will keep heading inside.
Yeah. You two head inside and see like the normal setting. You see like excuse me. You see Big's turtle friend is like in one corner, sort of setting up a sort of a small table for himself. Like, you see Liza just like sort of entertaining some of the patients, just like sitting nearby and strumming away on her lute a bit. And
Hello, how are you?
Or no, wasn't she stuck on something else now? It was a...
Goodbye.
Yeah.
And then you just see Stumbles like off in his little corner, just like observing different cells under a microscope, like. But what would you like to do?
First, Vane would turn to Big and say, I actually have some tests of my own, despite not being that medically or scientifically minded, that I'd like to run if you'd be willing to assist.
Of course, anything that could help.
I'd like to see what my more infernal magics might do to the infection, if it would have any effect, as it seemed like if holy magic had no effect, perhaps the opposite might do something.
Indeed. We'll just get a sample of infected blood here. I guess I'll go up to Stumbles.
He looks lifts his head a bit. Blasted dwarven biology. Welcome back, lad. How'd it go?
Better than I had imagined it would, though not entirely successful. We didn't find Saladin. Turns out he's still here.
Oh dear.
Truly. However, we did make a few small breakthroughs as far as information, and I'll pull out the paper and hand it to him.
He pulls it out and unrolls it a little bit. Dear Lord, you've got schematics of the lungs, the heart, the kidneys, liver, bone structure, prefrontal cortex. Dear Lord.
They're
Yeah.
more open to experimenting on those stricken with the plague than we
Aye.
are here.
Whoever did these autopsies is either very brave or very stupid, but I commend them either way.
Well, nothing much was accomplished without a little stupidity.
True enough. And then he, like, very knowingly, like, reaches down and, like, taps his legs. In any
Knock on
case.
bone. But, yes, and apparently salt is a big,
Salt?
has an effect on it.
Salt. Hang on. Look under his telescope for me. They like, gestures to the tools and, like, rushes into the other room.
Alright.
And, yeah, you watch as he comes back and, like, starts unscrewing the lid on, like, a little shaker. Alright, I want you to tell me if you see any changes.
Mm.
Then he, like, reaches over to one side, like, just starts dashing it onto the sample.
Seasoned.
That's what I was thinking. That's not gonna do much good for the blood itself, but it might stop the disease.
Yeah, you just see him, like,
I'm just thinking
And,
of.
Adds a dash of saffron.
I'm seeing Vane just going, seasoning, grabs the fucking thing and bites it.
Yeah, that's the one seasoning I imagine they have in Vexia.
Like, literally anything that is not, like, capsicum, basically. Because they don't have access to that part of the world.
and, yeah. As you observe the blood sample under the microscope, you see it's a bit odd. Where the blood before was very black or dark red, you see spots of white sort of appear in it as the salt seems to, like, separate the impurities and cause, like, little pockets of, like, normal blood to appear. It doesn't last long, and you notice that the blood seems to be slowly creeping back again until it's like a solid black again. But, yeah, it does seem as though it would help to sort of stave off infection.
Yeah, I'll relay that to Stumbles. Yeah, it seems to purify the blood for only a moment. But there
Oh.
was definitely a reaction.
Interesting. Well, I'd have never thought of it, but I commend them anyways.
How far are we on translating the bliss stuff?
You tell me, lad, it's in Druidic.
Oh, yeah, no, I was asking you.
Oh. Yeah, you've gotten, like, a lot of the forward and everything of, like, yes, so, but as you've been translating it, I assume in your off time and such.
That's kind of what I've been
yeah.
imagining, is like, whenever
just,
we're
like,
resting.
Yeah, whenever you're resting, just, like, flipping through it, trying to, like, try and get it onto a normal piece of paper. It seems to be written almost in a sort of code, where with like sort of allusions to where things would be with riddles and such, or like saying things like 5 feet from so and so constellation and such, and things like that. It's a bit of a code, but you've been slowly piecing together a bit of what it would mean, or could theoretically have it translated by someone who knew the code.
So, I'm not going to be able to make too much more progress without working with, like, a rogue or something.
Possibly.
I will mention to Stumbles. I do wonder if, and, like, I'll hold up the book. Like, I haven't made a ton of progress on this, but I do wonder if that's one of the key ingredients to bliss, maybe.
Oh. It's certainly possible. Would explain a lot. I've heard they've got salt deposits up in their little forested section.
Went to Vane, by the way. I know you were gathering supplies for the town. I do wonder, you mentioned you're ocean-based or near the ocean. Would you all happen to have a large supply of salt?
We do have a salt mine, although it hasn't been used in a while due to some giants in the mountains there having taken it over. But we import some. I don't know if they've likely already sent out the supply shipment at this point. I believe today was the day of the Geist Wave, so they won't be sending much out for the next day or so. So it'll be a bit split up if they do manage to send some.
If it's just If it would be at all possible. It might make a difference here, but I do understand they have priorities. We were actually wanting a couple samples of infected blood at different stages. We're curious if his infernal type magic might have some kind of effect on it.
Ah,
The notes mentioned that holy magic didn't have any effect, and we're wondering if the opposite would have an effect.
you know, you have an inquisitive mind, friend, and I commend you for it. He starts to flip through a few little files in his desk. Let's see. Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3, and unfortunately I don't have much Stage 4 since it's the most volatile. Can't exactly give that out. But here you are, first 3 stages.
Thank you. And I guess we'll go over to a unoccupied side of the tent, or little area.
And just like set up like a sort of like like little slides of the blood, or like little vials of it.
Big has a little experiment
Like
station.
little vials of it.
Okay.
I work in my spare time. And I'll put one under the slide and just now try concentrating something on it.
So Vane will just sort of hold his hands just sort of apart and just sort of like start like building an Eldritch Blast in it, but then just sort of like unfocusing it so it just sort of goes down to like just sort of like jolts of like infernal energy just shooting back and forth between his hands, and just sort of carefully just sort of placing it around the blood sample.
Sort of like just forming the magic and reducing it back
and
to the
reducing
base
it to, like,
components.
like most basic flat sort of energy.
Just raw infernal energy.
All you have to do is hex it.
Bad disease.
You have disadvantage.
You can't do it.
You can't
You have
deceive
disadvantage
me.
on con saves.
The
Waves
blood
hand in
sample
front of
immediately
face.
dies. Damn it.
No, see, that's how invisibility works in D&D. You just go, you can't see me, and then like cast magic like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's just sort of like taking that sort of raw infernal energy and just sort of putting it around it, just to see if that has any effect as it jolts through it.
If you turned invisible and like they drew blood, would your blood be invisible?
Theoretically.
I have no idea. I think it's like a bubble of invisibility, like over your skin, maybe.
Like it refracts light. It's not actually making your body translucent.
I have no idea.
That makes more sense.
Good
Anyway,
question.
what do we
But,
see?
Yeah, as you do, you see a myriad of changes across the different vials. The one that's sort of labeled with a 1, you see no real visible effect. The one that's labeled with a 2, you see it sort of sway a little bit, as though like sort of a continuous ripple across the water sort of like waving a bit of sheet metal. The third one, however, as the infernal energies sort of hit it, you see it just sort of like start to swirl and whirl around, and sort of like expand and contract and expand and contract, and then finally expand enough to actually break through the vial, as it seems to be rejecting the infernal energy. That being said, I need you both to make me a dex save.
Oh lord.
Considering Vane was just sort of stuck there, it's not great. It's a 6.
Let's see. Plus dex. Non-nat 20.
Oh,
Well, Vane's fucked.
You are roll to resist infection.
yeah, make me a con save, please, Vane.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put you in a cage now.
That is a 16.
Okay, yeah. So, thankfully you have the good sense to like cover up your mouth and your eyes,
orifices.
all the like membranes and stuff to where the blood would be most susceptible. But as the vial does explode, you see a good bit of glass like shoot out and scrape across your hands. Big, thankfully you weren't in such a compromising position, so you were able to like duck out of the way. Whoop.
Big does experiments. He's used to this. I guess start treating Vane here. Get like a washcloth, maybe some bandages.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
And just as you're doing that, I'll just sort of look at you. Well, what exactly do you draw from that, medicine man?
Well, it doesn't have no reaction, as you saw. It has an interesting reaction. It seems to reject that type of magic. Almost as if, it's very averse. I don't imagine that the plague was in any way created using infernal magic. Seems to be a bit of a counter to it. I'd imagine anyone in the last stages of infection, your magic would be catastrophic to them.
Well, that was just the most raw essence. Wonder... I do have some capacity for more radiant magic, and if you'd like to try doing them at the same time.
I'd be interested in that, certainly, but we might need to get you treated first. I don't know if... we don't know if you've contracted or not. I will need to be keeping an eye on you on our next adventures.
That's fine.
I don't think it's likely that you'll get the infection. Again, it doesn't seem to enjoy infernal magic.
Are you going to put Vane in a hamster ball?
We're gonna put Vane in a bubble and put infected people near him, so like he can just ward it off of them.
Yes, in a plague is hardly the most dangerous situation I've been in.
Oh, you're not nervous at all.
Not particularly.
Again, I believe your odds are good.
Do you know how many pathogens I'm carrying around right now?
Most of them aren't even of this plane.
What kind was it? What were the people who were immune to the plague?
The munis.
Like, what was their common denominator there?
That they had some sort of that they had oddly shaped cells that were sort of like...
they were anemic?
Yeah, sickle cell anemia.
Yeah.
But, I will see if we can get some more vials from Stumbles, maybe. But, I guess that would be a good time to cut to, I guess, Caleb? We were the last ones, weren't we?
Yeah, I think for the most part, everyone's going to bed roughly right about
Okay.
now.
Then
Yeah.
we'll see what Radiant does to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll just test it out. And do you want me to roll anything for that? Because we're just trying to applying like one hand like infernal, other hand radiant.
See what a combination of the elements does to it.
Sure. Roll me an arcane check real quick, just to like focus and make sure that actually happens.
I imagine it's difficult to mix two magics.
Can you give him gloves first?
I will give him a pair of medical gloves.
That is a 23.
Oh yeah. Managed to focus the energy enough and just sort of like focus, sort of bombard from both sides the different vials. You do it to the first vial and no real effect. You do it to the second vial and no real effect. You do it to the third vial and once again no real effect.
Congratulations, you added a base and an acid.
Yeah, they seem to be neutralizing each other. And
Well.
we've seen that. We've seen that radiant magic does nothing to it, correct?
Ah, yeah. According to the documents, just whatever this is seems to be resistant to divine magic.
Well, at least we know if there's ever a moment where infernal energy might cause a chain reaction, we can use radiant to stop it.
Truly, and if we come across an infected stage 4, I believe you could quite easily defeat it. Let's see. It hasn't spread to Vexia, correct?
It is not.
No.
Yeah, I believe that might be why.
I mean, that's mostly because if someone did come across, they'd probably just be burned alive, but...
Or mistaken for some kind of devil.
But yes, unless anyone has anything else that they'd like to do to finish off today.
After coming up with the designs, all I did was just start tearing into the demonology book.
Roll me a history check real quick.
Wait, no, did the little girl show up?
Yeah. Yeah, did.
For a
did she
bedtime
show up
story?
For her bedtime story?
You're the pastor now. Why does she want you to read her a demon book?
History check, you said, right?
Ah, yes.
History. Where the fuck is... Okay, it's a 13.
13?
Closest thing Caleb would probably know about anything in here is tieflings. That's it. And,
Yeah, what do you think would
So,
happen if someone...
As you
in
flip
the
third this
or
book of
fourth stage,
demonology,
if
you begin to
channel
realize that.
Like, imagine their vein is the vial.
Oh. But yeah, as you begin to flip through it, you slowly start to realize, just from what you've heard Vane mention in passing about demons and devils and such, that this book seems to be wildly out of date. It has things like, it has like a picture of a bone devil, and next to it is words saying bone demon. It has stuff like stuff about some Osmodeus guy who you've never heard of before. Like, this guy doesn't exist. This isn't a member of our pantheon.
The common tiefling is known for the fact that they are fully human with very sunburned skin.
You have the feeling that this probably wasn't even written by, like, a demonologist.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's sort of like you get the feeling that whoever this was, it was probably more like interested in divine biology and basically just said, okay, this is how angels are. Demons are probably just the opposite.
As you can tell, the dreaded cow will fuck your shit up, as it is clearly the most soulless evil demon ever made.
Also have reason to believe that a circle of pepper will protect you.
And I base this off the horns that they grow.
Only the cows, though, not the bulls.
I can never hate bulls. Editor's note.
But
Oh yes, did you have something?
so I've decided to work on another one of the artificer infusions.
Ah,
It's I don't know how this works lore-wise, but again, it just says you can, when you add one, you can make it every long rest or short rest.
uh-huh.
I was gonna just make a bag of holding
Huh.
because I can do that. So can he.
You should make one for everyone.
I could make 3, but that would take the rest of my infusions.
There's actually a lot of things I can do as an artificer, and I have not been doing.
You can integrate tools into armor, though, which is a thing.
You can only make one.
I can make 3, but it would take 3 infusion slots.
You can only make each one once, I'm pretty sure.
I can take another slot for it.
But I'm pretty sure you can only have each infusion once. So it's like he couldn't have 2 of the infinity shoot guns, I don't think.
Oh, I thought you could. It says here it just takes...
Yeah, that's the whole reason. One is a repeating shot, the other one is just an enhanced weapon.
You can learn this infusion multiple times. Each time you do so,
can?
choose a magic shit guide. I'm picking from the application a table's title.
You know what I should do? I should work on. I infused one of Rallis's talons with silver. I should work on getting the other one to turn it into the alpha weapon. Because it's a magical weapon that can just transform into any other weapon.
That'd be cool.
Oh, no, what I was thinking of is
it's
you
any
can't
other
apply
melee
multiple
weapon, I
infusions to the same thing. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, you can learn an infusion multiple times. It's
Yeah.
not the only one it would be useful for would be a bag of holding because 2 makes a nuke.
Oh yeah.
But you can only have 3 infusions in general.
I can have 4, but I already have the jar. And I can change them when I level up, but I can only change out 1 at a time.
But you can make multiple items.
I can.
Yeah. So if you could just make multiple bags of holdings, like if that's 1 infusion.
No, that would take as many as I used it for.
Okay.
I can also make a rope of climbing.
I don't think that's gonna
Yeah,
be
not
super
useful here. Or a cap of water breathing, not useful.
I mean, that can be useful.
Depending.
Not for me, but for the rest of you, yeah.
If and when we get there, but I would make a bag of holding.
Alright, yeah. You sort of just hunch over your desk and with a few careful stitches to some fabric and a good bit of magical infusion to the thread, you soon have yourself a nice little bag of holding.
Yeah, I figured it might be like planter, like, some kind of theme.
Yeah, sort of made out of little plant fibers and stuff.
But no, the cap of breathing, whatever. That would actually be really useful because Rallis wants to go find big salt deposits in the water, but probably not smart to go alone.
Yeah, I can also make night vision goggles. However that works in D&D.
I mean, it's just magical dark vision goggles.
Yeah, it's just weird. All right, and yeah, I guess instead of working on the translation that night, since we got stuck, I'll just work on that, and that's it.
All right. And anything from Tristan or?
Raus. No, Raus just he's just gonna return home, probably replace his cloak that got destroyed, and just rest.
All right.
Not specifically.
You're all awoken fairly early on in the morning by a deathly piercing scream. Ah! And I'll say that Rallis, you recognize the scream as Linda.
Raus is immediately up and just out his door.
Yeah. Yeah, and as the rest of you slowly start to wake up, Rallis, I imagine it's a bit easier for you to wake up being like metallic and such, but
Yeah.
you like rush out and towards the gate as you see good old John the gate guard and is like holding Linda back like, hey, stop, we can't open it, you got, calm down, hey, and then you see Linda like, out of the way, John, and then just like holding up an axe like, no, please do not shot me, I'm doing, you cannot open the gate right now, no, we can't do that.
I guess Raus will call out, "What's going on?"
Linda just like looks over, Rallis, tell this fella to open the door, Lotric's out there.
Oh, is that the dwarf that might have had the infection?
That's Linda's husband.
Yeah. Are they on top of the gate?
They're like out in front of it. It seems like they saw him, and then Linda rushed down, and John rushed down to stop her.
Man, it seemed like the only thing John's good for is not opening the gate. He's good at that.
I guess Raus is going to, he's gonna manifest his echo and just go to the other side to check things out real quick.
As he's doing that, Vane is just sort of walking out, just sort of like holding his head, just like, oh, I have the worst migraine.
I told you I need my coffee before 2 a.m.
Yeah. So, Rallis, as you like manifest your echo on the other side, you see a bit of a disheartening sight. Lotrek, sort of the patriarch of the local dwarf clan, is walking down the road, sort of a haunted look on his face. As you get a good look, you see a lot of blood just pooled around his chest, and upon closer inspection, you see that at the end of his at the end of his arms are just two mangled stumps where his hands once were.
Can I determine infection?
Roll me a medicine check.
Let me check my medicine. I think it's kind of shit, but
I have to say, what are the medical guys for?
fucking 8.
He has blood, all right.
Yeah, you see, I'll say that as you observe the wounds, they don't seem to be bite or claw marks, so you can safely assume that it wasn't one of the infected.
Raus will just pop back into his, consciousness back into his body. He's not infected. You can open it.
You sure now?
Yes. If so, he wouldn't be long far enough that we can't treat it.
All right. Then you see John like rush upstairs there and back up the stairs and like slowly creak open the gate.
I will turn around. Do I see who else is around?
You see like a few people like looking out their windows just from the early risers. Vane's walking out, probably has a bit of a migraine. Would the two of you be up at this point?
If there was some kind of commotion, yeah, Big would be out and about.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of his job, and
I wouldn't
Stubble
have-
stays
I
in
guess-
the tent.
I guess if you are around there, Rouse is going to look at you and go, Druid, medicine, now.
Yes.
I wasn't
I
exactly.
will. Medicine. Okay, he's good now.
Like,
Cast some medicine on him.
I wouldn't have my usual. I wouldn't have my like usual.
Pep,
Not pep, but like, I'd be in my sleeping clothes basically.
would you have your night gun?
It says like a big
I
nightcap
cuddle
on.
it at night.
Yes, my candle gun.
You pull the trigger and it casts light. If I'd be in the area,
Yeah, like the gate creaks open and the rest of you, along with a few of the, a few startled gasps from the local townsfolk, just like, as Lotrick like stumbles in and collapses onto the ground, and you all get a good view of the sort of haunted expression before he like collapses over, and you see that his hands have been removed.
if I can, what would I roll to, like, stabilize him? Or assess the damages?
Probably medicine, right?
Which would you want to do
athletics.
first? Oh,
I meant, like,
yeah. What do you want to do first? Would you want to stabilize him or observe the situation, or
well, I guess,
what exactly you're doing?
stabilize would be the priority, if those are two different things.
Yeah, that'd be a medicine check.
Also, do you have a medicine kit?
Yeah, I was about to say, I have a medicine kit and proficiency. I took medicine feat.
Doesn't that give you advantage?
Yeah.
If I have a medicine kit, yes.
Ah, yeah.
And then you also have proficiency because
You can expend one use of the kit to stabilize a creature that has 0 hit points without making a wisdom or medicine check.
Okay, so you can just stabilize him.
Yeah, I'll just snap and he's stabilized.
Yeah.
Medicine!
Yeah, you just walk over, and I assume with your vague giant strength, just like grab onto the stumps and squeeze to sort of like semi-cauterize the injuries and stop the bleeding.
Now let's just ignore the guy who can make fire to cauterize it.
I was
sure.
about to say, I'll hold him up and tell you, like, can I get some fire?
I was going to say, if you wanted to cauterize those things, just have Big hold on to the, not Big, had Rallis hold on to the stumps and just have someone heat metal.
But yeah, I'll just sort of, Vane will just sort of snap his fingers and a pillar of fire will just sort of appear next to you.
Alright, this is gonna be painful. And I'm just gonna, like, hold him and try to
Just give him
shove the stumps into the fire for
just
a
give
second.
him some
Just a
fucking-
second.
Just before you do that, Rouse is going to grab a stick and just give it to him to bite down.
That
on.
was about to say. You should really.
Alright, and then I'll, he's had wounds on his chest, or was it just his hands?
He did have wounds on his chest too.
I'll go ahead and, like, strip his shirt off and apply bandages.
As you do, you see writing in Druidic. This is what comes of trespassing upon our woods. Stay in your territory, and we'll stay in ours. We will lose no more of our sons.
No, I can't read Druidic, but something tells me that's not a good sign.
No, it's not, and I'll purposefully cover up that part, and I'll, like, apply some kind of Paludis or something to his back. Try to prevent scarring if I can.
Just get some Vicks Vapo rub on there. You'll be fine.
Dude, fix
Yes,
Vaporub on a
and I'll
open
look at
wound.
Rallis
Yes.
as I say this. This was a warning from the druids.
Rouse is going to turn to you. What does it say?
It says to stay out of their territory. That they won't lose any more of their own to us. I don't believe we've killed any of them, have we?
History? History check, I'm assuming?
Didn't we do like an entire boss fight where we just killed druids?
Oh, yeah, but...
We just slaughtered a bunch
But
of
they
them. Y'all
invaded
like,
our-
We didn't kill
We
any of them.
didn't invade their territory and kill them, I don't think.
I'm pretty sure they consider everything here their territory.
Maybe.
Those people were war criminals.
You know, to be fair, they were in like a death cult.
Are you really complaining about war criminals when Vane is standing within 10 feet of you?
He doesn't know that you're a war criminal.
Yeah, Vane's like, how many babies have I killed this
The
month?
druids are the
I've
druids
literally openly said I'm glassed city.
Yeah, no, Big paid
What do you
attention
think
to
that entails?
The druids are just fucking like, you can't own property, man.
You can't
We
own trees. We own trees. You don't own trees.
We can, but that's because we pay taxes.
Dude, I can't wait till I get the druid travel by tree spell.
No, you don't. You're libertarian.
Rallis will say, not in their territory, I don't believe.
So, having bandaged him the best I can, I'm going to, like, pick him up.
Yeah, he is like passed out at this point. You just see Linda like
Yeah.
just like staring incredulously, like
You're there,
getting
right,
the
Caleb?
boys.
Yes.
And it just
If-
like storms off.
If he hasn't been infected, he should survive. It's more.
I know he will, but those damn druids won't.
Is Linda going out yet?
Yeah, not yet. You see her, like, turn and presumably go to the sewers to gather her people.
Yeah, gather soldiers. She's.
Rallis stands up. Caleb, come with me. Vane, help get him to the medical tent, will you?
All right.
And, Rallis just... He's, not... He just starts full sprinting to, back to Lady Bright Eyes.
Alright. So, we'll go Vane and Big first. As you... I presume you're carrying him to the medical tent?
Yeah, like, kind of cradling.
Let me see if I can find some,
you
more.
like, carry him on in, and you see Stumbles, like, rubbing in his eyes. Dear Lord. The hell's going on with Linda? She stubbed her toe or something.
She made my migraine worse.
And I'll show him.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Or Krishna, Christ.
There you go.
Krishna.
Dear Krishna!
I'm so startled. I'm talking about gods what don't exist. Come in.
Don't exist.
Not in this world.
Son of Krishna!
I knew Krishna wasn't fucking real.
Sweet Krishna Jr.
Krishna Juniors and Hardys.
I assume he might need stitches on his chest, but he's bandaged for now.
Oh, yeah. She like, gets him in and, like, well, yeah. You did a fine job stabilizing him, lad. We'll test him for infection, but, yeah, like, stares incredulously, just blinks a bit. You see those arms? He, like, very carefully, like, lifts one of the very limp limbs and lifts it, and hey, have a look. I want you to corroborate something for me.
Mm.
And can you roll me your medicine check real quick?
Yeah. 15?
15? Yeah, these are some wounds that you haven't really seen before. Normally, you'd expect a lot of, like, frayed skin if it were bitten or torn out or clawed off, or, like, just a bit of a smooth going if it had been sliced off. Oddly enough, you see that the skin of this man's arm has been almost stretched and sort of misshapen, almost as if someone tore his hands off with their bare hands.
Damn.
Yeah, I'll fucking say.
Was he ripped apart?
Aye, like goddamn toffee.
What would... Forgetting why or how would you do that?
Well, I know a few people who could probably do it with their bare hands, but I don't think they're here.
Was it... Mark said druids. Would his giants have done this?
I've... like, blinks slowly. I've seen wounds like this before. Fella that worked for the giants up north. Fella who called himself Rug the Rook. He'd abduct whole squadrons, tear their hands off, and sacrifice them to some storm god the giants had, and sent the men staggering back into camp to mess with morale. This is his MO, but I thought he was dead a long time ago.
Can I, since I'm from the north, could I roll a history check to see if I know anything more about him, or any rumors of him being alive?
Yeah, sure.
That would just be history.
Mm-hmm.
That's a non-nat 20.
Yeah. You've heard bits and pieces of it from the war in Kusan about Arug Durak, about how he was, even though he was an ogre, he was very fervently with the giant pantheon, even to the point of, like, being accepting that, according to the laws of giants, he would never hold any real position of power, and he and his clan were especially brutal and, like, going against anything they thought would demoralize the enemies. They would attack soldiers, they would attack trade caravans. In one notable position, one of his followers burned themselves alive and ran directly into an enemy gunpowder section just to destroy their supplies. Like, they were some crazy, crazy people.
And had I heard anything about him still being alive after what people considered his death?
From what you've heard, the last sighting of him was about a year before the end of the war in Kusan, where he was supposedly captured, but yeah, and he was never heard from again, but his death was never officially confirmed.
And how do you spell his name?
R-E-W-G. Rug de Rock.
Like Durock, as in like a rock?
Ah, yes. T-H-E-R-O-C-K. Rug de Rock Johnson, yes. I see you smiling over there.
I'm putting Johnson at the end. That's canon now.
And you said he was
John the Gate Guard. No.
And you said he was an ogre?
Yes.
Okay.
It's about drive. It's about power.
So when Stumbles described him, he just said worked for the Giants. Did he tell Big he was an ogre?
No.
Okay. Well, right, yeah, Big assumes this is a giant at the moment. So, I imagine Rallis will be ready for battle at least.
Yeah. I've heard of some stuff from up north, and big ogre fellow fought hard for the Giants, even though he wasn't much of one of them by their own laws, but fought like a madman in a way I can almost respect.
Looking to Stumbles, would you be able to do anything for his hands, or?
Well, the spells to attach hands to him, I know them all right, but finding a match is tricky, especially with dwarves, just because they have so many different blood types than humans.
Would you be able to do prosthetics?
I could do prosthetics if we managed to recover his hands. I could attach them on like a glove, or well, I could try and attach other dwarf hands, but even then, 50-50. But I'll do what I can for him. You must go check out in town. I'll stay with him and make sure everything's all right.
Yes, I believe we should go speak and see with Linda, and make sure she doesn't do anything too rash.
This could lead to big trouble for the town.
So, on that subject, for our friends Rallis and Caleb, as you rush off to Lady Bright Eyes' office, you walk in and see that she is just like at a table with a few of the other hunters. You see Anika and Noose there, just like with her like already having like a map sort of set out of the town. It's like with a scribbled in green area sort of representing the druids' territory as they're like looking over it. They're talking about battle plans.
I will say, normally, Rallis does that. He's going to knock and wait. Today is different. He just throws open the door. And the moment he's there, he just calls out, "We have a problem."
So I've heard.
Fuck. What's Linda's husband's name?
Lothric.
Lautrec.
Right.
That's Norse, isn't it?
Huh?
Is that Norse or Scottish?
I stole it from Warhammer.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's gonna continue. Lothric was found outside the walls today, half dead. He was attacked by the druids.
So I've heard. And she just like gestures down to the map.
And he's going again. Continue. They left us a warning. Just recite what he was told. And if the anger Linda has is anything to go by, this is a war that's starting very quickly.
Yes. Unfortunately, it's quite hard to dissuade a dwarf once they're on the warpath. I'd hoped we'd have months more to prepare, but it seems they've forced our hand.
Do we still have those two from the other day? The ones that we captured over in... What was the... It's been months.
Riverside?
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
It's only
over
been a
by
day or two
Riverside. Do we still have those two?
that we pulled in coffins, apparently.
That's the last I've checked, yes, but it hasn't really been a priority at the moment.
Well, it might be real quick.
You didn't leave those in the custody of Linda, did you?
No, I left them in custody of the town guard.
I don't know how that worked. I was like,
Yeah.
they're dead if Linda had them.
I mean, they are now. I guess he's going to just start walking up to look over the plans so far.
And yeah, from what you can see of the battle plan so far, the idea is to just try and funnel the druids into a few chokeholds, or at the very least try and divert them so that they would have to walk through the necromancer territory to try and thin them out a bit. But yeah, there's that. It's a bit tricky to make plans because, as you can see, the section of the outside the forested area is very well detailed, but the green section of the druids' territory is just sort of like a vague blob.
Because no one really goes into it very often.
Yeah, there's like a
Lotric
few.
did.
Yeah, there's like a few question marks of where things were back before the quarantine and everything, but other than that.
I guess the next thing to bring up would be how many people went into that area of Bleakstone.
From the last I heard, it was Lotric and a couple of his sons. They went there on the hunt for Saladin yesterday.
So there might still be more hostages in there.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Rouse is going to look over at Caleb. You have any ideas on how we might be able to get these people back out there in there?
Let me take a really good close look at the map and see if there might be any particular hidden access points or anything like that, or something that may look like it could be a weak point for, say, me and a Echo to infiltrate through. So what's that kind of roll? Perception, insight, investigation?
I'd say investigation.
There needs to be like a variation of wisdom for like military or something like that.
Like strategy or...
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
maybe a variation of int and wisdom.
Non-nat. Yeah, non-nat 20. I'll be damned.
Like, if you'd be proficient with it if you had like a military
Just like a
backstory.
leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you look over the map, you can kind of tell a few areas that might be a bit weaker. In particular, there's one spot sort of along the border of the necromancers. The druids tend to avoid it a bit more than the others, just because they really don't like necromantic energies. But yeah, it's possible that this area wouldn't be very well guarded, and they might be able to penetrate through with some sort of small group. Probably not a large one, but
Okay, then.
Yeah, I picked the best combination of classes and archetypes and race. Giant kin, druid, necromancer.
artificer.
Just all the best. I had no idea any of this when I made the character.
Druids don't particularly like the idea of death. This area over here,
Most don't.
necrotic energies seep from this place. They'll tend to avoid it if they can, and they almost always do. I think we can use it to get into their little area. And if there's anybody inside, we can get them out that way too.
Rallis is going to look at that and continue, but there's a chance that we might get intercepted. We could cause a distraction, leave a special path back, and he's going to lift up his hands. If we send in a couple more stealthy people to make certain marks on trees, nothing to damage them permanently, but enough to be visible and distracting. And he's going to hold out his claws. We have one path with a set number of marks, which I can make. We send others sending with different numbers. That way, anyone we capture, we grab and release, we can tell them follow the trees with 5 marks. The others are just meant as their one distraction.
Plus, too, that also free us up from having to escort them.
Yeah.
We might be able to if a frontal assault happens, we might actually be able to join the fight, take them entirely off guard.
Well, ideally, this would be a stealth mission since it's hostages.
Of course, but that's.
But if
I'm
it comes
saying,
down to fighting, it gives them a path to run while we hold them off.
That's what I'm saying. If any, once the hostages are out, we can actually take care of it. We can take care of them with force. That's when everybody can jump in and help us fight. But since they'll be so busy with everyone coming from the front, they'll never notice us coming from the back. Thoughts, Bright Eyes?
She's like sort of silently listening in to try and like picture it in her mind.
Yeah, I was about to say, that map's not doing her a lot of good.
Yes, it makes a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Fuck, she's blind.
So, Lady Bright Eyes.
Well, perhaps she sort of like very carefully like places her hands on the table, and then you see like Anika just like reach over and grab her arm to like position it to the right spot. Here? Yes, if we have you going in here, then just like sort of very vaguely moves her hand like across different, and sort of like a V shape along the border. We could have other people watching small skirmishes here to try and draw them off guard, make it even easier to penetrate the defenses. Perhaps then, a small group could go in and rescue the hostages and possibly then seek revenge upon whoever it is who's done this to us. An eye for an eye, as it were. But yeah, Bright Eyes just sort of like taps the table a bit. As for who, well, you and your group have proven capable so far, if you're willing.
Rallis nods, absolutely.
Good. Now, let's say we go and try and stop Linda from getting herself and most of her family killed,
Rallis will nod. I guess we're heading towards Linda now.
Yeah. You guys all approach and see little big and vain, just already like at the entrance of the sewers, trying to talk them down a bit as Linda and as Linda's like marching back and forth in front of a column of her family, just like barking out orders as they're like holding up ragtag weapons or checking over things and just forming a little bit of a phalanx of dwarves.
You guys want to have a little thing with her first?
Yeah, I guess so.
We should probably really calm her down.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll be able to send people to go get anyone remaining, but I don't think going there and starting a big racket will help anyone.
I didn't start the racket. They did. When they pulled off my husband's hands.
And
Vane will just sort of go forward. And for that, they're going to pay. But just going in like maniacs without a plan That's just gonna get more of your family killed.
Oh, I have a wonderful plan. I'm going to find a druid and shoot them in the face.
And then they'll tear you apart just like they did him.
That's
Unless you want to watch your sons die as well. Believe me, I've seen plenty of hot-headed individuals rush in with aspirations of revenge just to get torn apart by their own red blood, but if you want to see these druids suffer, the best thing to do is stop, think, and then come up with a plan to make sure not a single one survives.
I'm not entirely sure that's the best course of action either, but if you go there and for some reason aren't victorious, all that's going to happen is more of your loved ones will die, and then possibly the town will be attacked.
Plus, they I'd assume you would have relayed that they had hostages whenever you met up with those
Well, I
fellas.
assume
Well,
she would have told us.
If
it was her
we
sons.
haven't gotten to that point yet.
That's what I'm saying,
I
like-
assume we're walking up while you're having this conversation.
I
so.
assume she's yelling that they still have her kids.
Would she have?
I don't know. Listen, you can say all the pretty words you want, but the fact of the matter is, they have my boys. And I'm going to get them back. I'm going to get them back as soon as I can.
Well, the moment they see you coming, your sons will be ripped apart by beast or whatever they did to your husband.
If they kept your children, then they're definitely planning on someone coming by, which means they're prepared.
If we can...
What would you have me do then?
What,
Sit here and twiddle me thumbs?
No, that doing nothing isn't the answer either, but I don't think a full-blown war will solve anything. We need to send a few people in. Maybe. I don't think it's beyond negotiating. You might disagree. But their safety should be the top priority.
And as you say this, you see Rollis start to walk over, and she looks over incredulously. Rollis, duck some sense into these maniacs. They're trying to talk me out of attacking.
We've already come up with a plan, Linda. We're going to strategically draw away any guards they have, while a bunch of the rest. While I lead a small group in to find any of your children that are still inside their woods, and we'll lead them out. We just need a bunch of distractions and some vandalism.
So, I need the three of you to all make charisma checks real quick. Persuasion.
Fuck me.
That wasn't good.
Oh, hell.
7.
only the three of us, I think.
Yeah, you don't have to roll.
Who doesn't?
Caleb.
All right.
Ah.
I think my
that is
charisma is +1.
It's a grand total of 4.
Well, you're not rolling, so
Oh, I'm not?
no.
I thought it was.
5.
19.
I didn't roll lowest.
Why was genocide the one that convinced her?
Because she wants genocide.
Can I roll to remove genocide from our campaign?
I'll just add
I'm
more
sorry.
to mine.
That would need a conference at Geneva. Yeah. She stands there, seeming very thoughtful for a second. Then
That Payne guy had a great point.
she looks up. Can you promise you'll get my boys back safe?
We'll do everything we can. And then after that, whatever has to be done will be done. Whether that be peace or a war, there will be an end. I promise you this, I will do everything I can to guarantee that our side is victorious.
Well, what can I do to help?
He's going to relay the plan so far. Again, the causing distractions, drawing people away, having them mark all the trees with various markings. Never 5, since that's going to be their path back, in case they can't be guided back. And yeah. And I'll tell her, if you get into a battle with one, kill them. It's, you know, I'd rather you and your children live than these people who attacked your children and your husband.
Well, that's a fair compromise. She turns back to the sort of gathered phalanx and starts barking out a few orders in Dwarvish as they start to switch gear from full-on attack mode to more of a skirmishy gear, a lot of light armor, a lot of daggers and such.
It's more running around, just smash and grab.
Yeah,
Cause chaos, get out.
yeah.
Then I'm going to turn to Vane and Big. We're going in.
Yes. And also, something you might wish to know, Rallis, it seems that the way that Linda's husband was torn apart was very similar to someone who participated with the giants in the Kusan War, Rug the Rock.
As you say that, Ral's kind of, I guess the best way to describe it would be sort of deflates for as much as he can, as if it's something he really doesn't want to deal with.
Not the man who killed. That's not the one who killed Rallis, I don't imagine.
Maybe. It's that happened in the middle of the war, and even at that, I don't know if Rallis would actually have known that giant's name. But he's going to turn. Was it just me and Caleb that came out here, or was someone else out here?
Just you and Caleb, yeah.
He'll mumble something about having to send someone out to notify the others, the other town, and we can deal with that later. But
It's he ripped people's limbs off. It's very distinct.
yep, I don't think I ran into that one.
Yeah. Apparently he was an ogre fighting among the giants.
Yeah, he's a war criminal right now.
Do you think he would have sided with the druids, or do you think something else might be going on?
Can Rallis roll? I guess it would be insight at that.
Insight with disadvantage since you never met him.
That's not great. Okay, 12.
12.
Rolled a 9 and a 10.
Yeah, you're not able to get a very good read on the situation. You've vaguely heard that he was, very unpredictable. So much so that people hated facing him out just because, they never knew what they were going to expect. There were some days where he would have a very straightforward, well-organized battle, and other days where he would have his men kill the first line of their column just to intimidate the enemies a bit. He was a very insane fellow, so it's kind of hard to get a good grasp of his motivations.
Okay. We might have more allies then. Is there a place where I can hire a carrier pigeon? Something. Send a note.
Talk
Yeah.
to the other town.
Yeah, you could probably find somewhere to send a note out. Yeah.
I guess I'll say I'll meet you guys at the East Gate is where John is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll meet you at the East Gate in about half an hour.
Our preferred meeting spot.
And then he's gonna go find a carrier pigeon, and preferably a map of just the outer Bleakstone area if he doesn't have one on him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you walk along and you kind of find you see Noose setting up a few posters around town. And And just vague things like just a poster that goes on and on, like danger abound, do not leave town. If you need something from another section, contact Noose or another hunter.
I guess I'll just walk up the Noose. I need a message sent out.
Holds up a notepad and looks at you expectantly.
I need it sent to Mendax, one of the people we met yesterday. Tell him I have information on Rube the Rock, and I'll spell it out for him. And I'll refer. I have reason to believe that he's working with the druids in, I believe it's Mossflower, is what it's on, in Mossflower. And, give a map with that circled. And just row us. Just get that sent off to the other town as fast as possible.
He gives like a brief salute and starts to fold the letter on the map, just like sort of tucks it away in a pocket, and then just like gives a brief salute and just rushes out for the gate.
Hopefully that'll help fix things. And he'll just, I guess, head to the east gate. He has everything he needs.
Did anyone else have any other preparations they wanted to make?
I guess I'll make a note of like grabbing bandages and medical kits.
Ah, yeah.
No, you repeat that louder.
I'll go ahead and grab from the tent the supplies I got the other day, the bandages and some medical kits.
Gotcha. Yeah,
In case we need to stabilize anyone.
Yeah, you head and just start loading up with supplies.
Got my new bag of holding.
Yeah, you got a nice bag of holding. You just like, Good old Stummels looks at you a bit incredulously as you seem to fit an entire cabinet's worth of supplies into a purse, and he's like, "Well, that's a fancy trick you got there, lad."
Figured that out last night.
Ah, well, good on you.
Here's hoping we don't need any of these supplies.
Ah, here's hoping.
And I'll gather up some just a small little wooden box or whatever, and just sort of fill it with cotton and the like to sort of make a tinder box, just to in case I need to create a more stable fire without having to keep my magic up.
Ah, gotcha.
Just basically just sort of a homemade tinderbox, just tiny little twigs and stuff that I find off little branches and cotton swabs, and very simple, not the highest quality, but enough to get something going if I need to.
Gotcha.
I can't wait for us to get in the middle of a fight and just go, man, it would be nice for a forest fire. Leaves! Just light the entire fucking druid area on fire, burn it all to the ground.
Yeah. And Caleb, did you have anything you wanted to do? Any preparations you wanted to make?
Stretch.
Yeah.
That's
you
it.
You do some damn fine stretches.
He goes,
Should I make an athletics check?
He goes
Or an
and talks to Mark,
acrobatics
the hot
check.
dog vendor.
I mean, I'm only a half elf. I don't really have much to do. I have guns. I have ammo. I'm ready to go.
Also, about how many uses do you think a cheap little homemade tinderbox would have? I think only 3?
Yeah, I'd say 3 or 5.
I'm not sure. There was a box maybe about that big with stuff, maybe, because it's just meant to start the fire, not keep it going forever.
On the note of creative supplies there, I'm gonna grab some vials and fill them with water and crushed berries or something.
Oh, all right.
So maybe just the tinderbox just has enough for 3, we'll say.
Get a few vials of berry juice and such. And, yeah. As you get your preparations underway, you soon meet up under the east gate. You see John just unusually on edge, just like staring out at the road anxiously, like, jeez, freaking, And, yeah, as you guys get ready to head out, he slowly opens the door gate for you. Best of luck out there, fellas.
So, Rallis would have absolutely grabbed one of his other cloaks while he was at home. I'm going to say the one he has is very earthy green.
Do you really believe that genocide is the best answer, or was that just for Linda's nerves?
A little of that, and it's also quite clear these druids pose a significant threat, and simply letting it linger in hopes that peace might come around should luck decide to just simply give it to you isn't really a very sane option either.
You don't think if the cure was found, maybe tensions would ease between
Clearly they
everyone?
don't... Dealing with the infection isn't the highest of their concerns.
No, but removing that tension might make way.
And then they'll see as more people can come from the city to chop down their forest.
There's got to be some sort of compromise.
I prayed to my god for answers, and he abandoned me.
Truly, their lives aren't worth more than ours, are they?
The life that you should always look for is whichever ones you decide are worth more. That's the only way you can live.
All life has value.
But tell me, if your own mother was about to be crushed and the only way to save her was to kill an innocent man, would you simply choose to let her die willingly, or...
I would make every priority of finding a solution that didn't involve that, but I suppose I can see some form of logic there.
Plenty of moments in life don't give you time to think. Sometimes you simply have to act.
No, but
And sometimes...
killing all the druids is a choice. That is a thought out.
Yes, and not doing it could lead to the death of however many people live in this ruined city.
And you agree with him, Caleb?
I gave peace a chance, Doctor.
No, I'm saying...
Peace got my family killed. It was the Sons of Krishna's decisions. Those lovely people to kill my sect, to kill my family. They didn't have to do any of that. And Krishna apparently rewards them for it? No. We gave that a chance. You can't rely on peace anymore. Not in these times. Should there come a day where words can end these sort of things, that'll be the day I lay down my arms. But for now, no God is going to give me justice, so we have to bring it ourselves.
And I'm almost afraid, but Rallis?
As you turn towards him, you will see his hand kind of grip, just ball up into a fist for a moment. Before he opens up. My home was attacked because others wanted to take what wasn't theirs. I've lost friends and family because of that. Those who attack others when they have what they need, I have no mercy for.
I would believe the druids believe the same thing you do, though. They attacked Lotric because he went into their territory. He wasn't looking for trouble, but they're as on edge as everyone else.
We didn't try and take their territory. That's the difference. They've already tried to take ours.
So no one's willing to try to talk it out.
I do not look forward to another war. I do not want this to end violently, but if it has to, they are the ones that started this.
Yeah.
But if there's an opportunity to talk, you would take it.
Rouse stops for a moment. I'd prefer this to end peacefully.
You'd have to give me a damn good reason. You'd have to give me a damn good reason why I should trust them before I do it. But yes, I suppose I could put aside any amount of anger I hold towards them. I suppose, giving it some other thought, they didn't do anything to me personally, no. But over time, I've just seen nothing but betrayals and wrongdoings to other people who didn't deserve it. You'll understand, it's a little difficult to think straight when that's all you ever see.
And I could see it ending peacefully should they decide it's worth agreeing to. However, based on their previous actions, I find it unlikely, and even if we did, us and the people in town would have to keep our eyes on our backs and always have a plan ready in case they decide peace isn't the option they want.
I'll have to consider this.
Yeah, as you guys walk along debating the philosophy of your actions, you approach the point at which you plan to enter the woods, and you see the sort of small moats that the druids have constructed around it, along with the surprisingly tall and vibrant trees that have grown to perhaps much larger than they should have in the short time that the town has been quarantined. And as if on cue with your arrival, you hear a cacophony of musket balls and gunshots as you see it, as you look to your left and see a myriad of branches along the tops of the trees fall to the ground, along with many dwarven war chants. I'm too tired to do a dwarf voice right now, but
You see one pirouette on his heel from the top of the walls and scream, 360! Ooga booga booga!
Ooga booga booga booga!
Yeah, just best attempt at a war chant. Heisha to shirai.
Where
Just like
the
stomping their
dragonborn
boots in
comes.
rhythm as they.
Hey, technically, the things that are called dwarves are dead in that series, Rodney.
Bro, the tragedy. Tiny but mighty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and as those start to sound off, you see a few glimmers as you see druids in the woods seeming like, oh shit, and start to rush off and or shift into wild shapes to like hide into small crevices and stuff. And as they do, you see a bunch of more gorilla suited up dwarves like emerge from the water. You look over and see Linda with a bit of a knife in her mouth, just like, hey.
I assume you've been marking
I'm sorry.
trees then?
That entire scene
Absolutely.
playing
The
out of my
moment they
head is the
enter,
coolest
Ralph
fucking
starts
thing.
marking trees.
Yeah.
Very
Just dragging
specifically.
5 claws across.
Yeah. 5, and he has his echo, and
Just
marking
every
other
subway
trees
after
every once in a while.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, every once in a while, Rallis will dead stop, and you'll see his echo just fly off in the distance for a little bit and reappear next to you and go the other way.
Yeah, and then after she nods towards you, you see her draw a second knife, and her and her clan just sort of like rush forward into the woods. You see Linda like turn and do like sort of a Legolas slash like make 2 marks on a tree as they like just rush forward, making various marks.
Are they taking care to make sure that the trees aren't dying, or do they just not give a shit?
They seem to be leaving the trees mostly alive. You see a few like every now and then get a little bit too into it, but other than that,
Yeah, Rallis would
Thank you.
actively try not to kill any trees, but I don't think any of his claws would really be able to lead that kind of damage.
I mean, cuts and
No.
trees don't really damage them at all.
it depends on
Not
how
too
deep
much.
it is.
I mean, I don't think
Yeah, like, they're
no
just using-
mortal being should be able to do
yeah,
that
they're just
with
using
their bare
knives and
hands.
slashing. They probably wouldn't be able to like get. I think it's like once the cut gets more than halfway across is when it starts to kill the tree.
I'm pretty sure if you look at a tree the wrong way, these dudes will bonk you on the head with a stick.
If you cut, more than halfway through a tree, I did. Like stuff like that. Groundskeeping. It can't pump correctly, and it will damage it
I like to think that they're mostly just doing this, so that they just insult the shit out of the druids.
I mean,
Yeah, you just see like you see Sindri like staying a good bit behind the main lines, but he's like taking his time and carving like an elegant dwarven roast into one of the trees. Like, your mother was a hamster, and your father smelled of elderberries. Then,
Both
like,
of those facts can be true.
Then, like-
These are dwarves.
then like
or druids.
underlines that part like elderberries.
I forget, what was the reason behind the insult saying they smelled like elderberries? Was it saying they were drunk? I forget.
I don't
Because
remember.
that was like an actual insult, and I forget what it was.
I believe it implies you're drunk, yeah, because most mead
Mm-hmm.
was made from elderberries.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your father was an alcoholic. I'm not sure
And
if that's
your
an insult to
And,
dwarves.
like, saying your mother was a hamster was like saying she bred like a vermin. So, like, she was
Yeah, she let anybody.
promiscuous.
Mm-hmm.
Both of these facts can be taken in more senses with druids.
Indeed. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Anyway, shall we get to the action?
Ah, yes. I need the group of you to make me a stealth checker, please.
I'm just hoping this is a group stealth check so that I can't fuck it up before everyone.
Also, would we have advantage since they're causing a distraction? Or no?
Ah, yes.
Great,
I have
that's a
advantage.
flat roll for me.
I have advantage
Could
on
I,
stealth checks.
Could I have
Dope.
called a familiar?
Oh, sure.
Just eyes on this guy.
I rolled a 12.
14.
Well,
I
it's
have
not going to do
rolled a
better than a
12.
nat 20.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
you roll?
buddies.
Don't have to
Okay,
roll that
so
twice.
let's be clear. Natural 20, 12, 12, 12.
Well, it makes sense. I grew up in the forest. I am one with nature.
Vane hates nature.
So
Yeah, and it shows, city boy.
I believe the lowest then would be a 14.
Oh, yeah.
I can turn invisible like fuck y'all.
And
I can turn into a bear.
Yeah, as you guys make your way through the woods, you sort of like stealth your way through, go by different trees and stuff to just like serpentine your way through. Every now and then you'll see either a druid rushing by with like a crossbow or something, or you'll see a few suspiciously alert looking deer like rushing around. But for the moment, none of them seem to lay eyes on you.
All right. I guess can I send my familiar, I guess, up and try to find like any indication of where their camp would be?
Yeah, roll me a perception check.
Let's see, and then that would be with the familiar stats.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, using an owl, it gets advantage on that, and then add. Okay, so that's an 18.
Yeah, as your owl sort of circles the sky and sort of pervades the chaos to one side, its eyes sort of focus onto one section, sort of a bit deeper into the forest along the other bank of the river, where you see a bit of an odd sight. Like one of the as you look around, you see like bits and pieces of ruins, but the druids seem to have been doing their best to like return this place to the earth, this part of town. You see one building that seems to be, for the most part, intact, sort of like a bit of a taller building that actually peeks out above the trees a bit. And you can kind of see it seemed like a bit of a fire sort of brewing from the top of it.
I'll relay to Rallis kind of the direction, and then that there's an intact building.
How far?
You get the feeling it'd be about, if you kept going the way you were going, it'd be about like half an hour before you got there.
In about a half hour.
Once we get in, within eyesight, within 1,000 feet, I can send my echo forward and scout out a little bit.
How are you going to say 1,000 feet forward in the middle of fucking forest?
Yeah, that's what I'm a little bit on that. Yeah.
I mean,
You'll be lucky if you see 200.
like, once we can see the building,
And we'll be within like 100 feet of it.
look, I'm more sending it up the fucking tower building, whatever the fuck.
I'll
how
let you
tall
know
it is.
when
So I'm
within.
going to say that, man, can I get a verbal confirmation that it can just go up the side of buildings? Because that seems a bit suspicious to me.
It specifically states that it can move in. I can just move it.
It
does
did
it say
say
you can move
gravity
it?
doesn't affect it, didn't it?
Yeah, it's not affected by gravity.
Yeah.
I can move in any direction. So
It doesn't have
Right.
mass.
Yeah, I'm not saying I doubt you or anything. I just want to make sure because
I believe when we first started this, I looked it up, and one of the people who made the Echo Knight went, "Yeah, I can go up."
Huh,
I'll
all right.
And I
I'll
was looking at
double
that,
check.
going,
You know, is there
"That's
any,
broken."
you know, is there any possibility that like Rawls can teach this little trick to Caleb?
You
George,
just
do you
need a
wanna
couple level classes in fighter.
Yeah, do you want to drop 7 levels in fighter? I mean, if you drop 3 levels, you can get the clone, but you gotta drop 7 to.
Okay, here. Can an
Manifest
Echo Knight
consciousness.
move its Echo vertically? Knight. You can use the bonus action to magically manifest an Echo of yourself in an unoccupied space you can see within 15 feet of you. The Echo is a magical, translucent, gray image of you. On your
Yeah.
turn, you can mentally command the Echo to move up to 30 feet in any
Yeah.
given direction.
Yeah, Jeremy Crawford made a tweet on it. The Echo created
Yeah.
by an Echo Knight doesn't have any speed, and the Knight can move the Echo in any direction, including into the air. The Echo can hang out wherever you move it.
It
That is
doesn't have
fucking-
mass, essentially.
That is
Okay.
fucking stupid.
And then when I have my consciousness in, it's moving at 30
Consider
feet.
it like a stand.
Like, why?
That is
It's-
broken. I mean, if you want to house rule something.
It's broken, but it's also things like
I mean-
it doesn't say it can pass through things or it can't pass through
It's-
things.
You have
Like,
to be
I'm-
able to see.
It's
You or
broken
the Echo
for
has to be able
it's
to
broken
see.
for specific things out of
Yeah.
combat, but
Like-
in combat it's not broken. But
Yeah.
Like the level 7, hey, I can manifest my consciousness into it. My body is left unguarded.
yeah,
So,
it's just so weird. Like, who designed this and thought that was fine?
Matt Mercer.
Yeah.
Oops.
I mean,
Yeah.
but it was proofread by other people. Like
It says on here, though, that the Echo Knight can only be manifested within 15 feet of you. Then you have to move
no, it's
it
within
wherever.
30.
no, it's within 15 feet.
Oh, is it
or- Yeah.
Oh yeah, it just
And then
used to
I
be
can move it up
move
to
it
30 feet.
until you got level 7.
Also, I just want to point
Then
out.
you
Well-
can go 1,000 if you have your.
But I had to move my consciousness into it.
I'd say just for sake of my own sanity, if it works for you, we can talk about it more later. For sake of my sanity, I'll say that it would move up a bit more slowly, like probably could not move more than your jump speed per turn in direction up.
I mean, again, I'm using it to scout.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I'm aware, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
it's
all
hard.
of-
It's hard to balance something that can move 1,000 feet directly up into the air and things like that. So I'm just going to say maybe move up into the air a little bit slowly. I'm not going to outright take it away because it seems like part of the class and you've gotten good use out of it.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
I can only move it 30 feet a turn. Like that. That's a hard. I can't move it more with another. I can move 30 feet a turn if I move it. That's it. That's all I can do.
Yeah. Because I don't think it can dash either.
No, it can't.
Yeah.
The only thing it can do, I can move it 30 feet. It has a 1 hit point, and up to I think my proficiency or no, it's my Constitution modifier. I can have it make an extra attack that does not count towards my action.
Yeah.
But that's only if I've already taken the attack action.
It's like it's balanced for combat. It's just the out of combat. It's like, who
And-
tested this?
and it's the one thing.
Yeah. It's like that one
Like-
thing that's just like, what?
But yeah, you guys slowly make your way towards the building, and yeah, before too long you can see it's within sights, about 500 feet away for those of you keeping track, and yeah,
So we're ending here, or we want to do anything else?
and as you
The only thing I want to do is see if there's anyone on the roof. That's the whole thing beyond. I just want to see if anyone was on the roof.
Yeah, as the familiar looks onto the roof, you see, you don't see anyone in particular. You just see a lot of giant runes carved menacingly with a odd scent of burning flesh ever present in the air. And as your group approaches the tower, you feel a sense of dread, as if a great threat awaits you.